What's up, guys? All right, I got a lot to go over. A lot of stuff on Twitter that's going down. Excuse me, because I ain't got my mic in, so if the sound is whack, I do apologize. All right, let's get it. Let's get over to Twitter. I'm about to go to my bookmarks. I got a bunch of stuff bookmarked that I want to handle. All right, we will start with. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even read this whole thing, but Bill Gates to stand trial in Netherlands in COVID vaccine injury lawsuit. Interesting. A Netherlands court asked a Netherlands court last week ruled that Bill Gates will stand trial in the Netherlands in a case involving 7 people injured by COVID-19 vaccines. Other defendants include blah 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 blah. CEO from Pfizer and the Dutch state. That's crazy. That is crazy. There's another one up on there like that. Oh, this is funny. Were you honest about Biden's decline? Joe is perfectly capable. Then why are you the candidate? Craziness.
Over 300,000 children. Kamala, where are the children? More than 300,000 children. Over 300,000 children that they came through the border, they released them, and we don't know where they are. First step to eradicate child trafficking is to raise awareness. Because if you don't know that this problem exists, how you can fix it? So I made a promise to God that I would dedicate my entire life to end child trafficking. To end child trafficking. Because God's children are not for sale. Children are sacred. Because of you hosting a private screening in your house. Because of you endorsing Sound of Freedom. After that, Sound of Freedom became the #1 independent film in box office ever in history, produced by a Mexican producer.
It's actually 325,000 children are missing, sex slaves, slaves, or dead.
Yes.
One of those 4 things: slaves, sex slaves, missing, or dead.
Woosah.
Were very fine people. You also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Very fine people among Americans that night chanting Nazi slogans.
And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. You also had people.
Interesting. Me and my brother was just talking about this yesterday, actually, and he brought this up. He was like, "Man, he wouldn't even condemn the Nazi white nationalists, blah blah blah. He wouldn't even condemn them." And I'm like, "Man, I swear there was like a clip I seen where he did, and I couldn't say for sure during the argument, so I didn't bring it up." I sent him this. I just texted him this exact video because that's crazy, man. They tried to say like, see how they try to spin it on you, like. He didn't say there's fine people on both sides. He said, he was saying there is fine people in the crowd on both sides. Everyone there isn't chanting Nazi rhetoric. Everyone there is not doing the dumb stuff. You know what I mean? And then he says, and then he condemns the Nazis. It's crazy. AmericanDebunked.com. We're going to go to that just to see what's good. AmericanDebunked.com. I wonder if I gotta put in a URL. AmericanDebunked.com. Huh. Fake website. Whatever. Decent video though. At least we checked. That's crazy. All right.
Republican versus Democrat. It is no.
Hey, before this starts though, as of late, man, I mess with Charlie Kirk, bro. He be saying some stuff. He's a man in my eyes. He does this little thing on YouTube where he like goes and debates like college students. And then there was one where he sat down with 20 woke college students and they like go over like abortion, go over like taxes, climate change, like all these little issues. And he would sit alone, no notes, and he would sit there and debate them one at a time, and they could like raise the flags. And it was like, that's what we need. We need more debate. We need more people to be scared to be wrong live and be corrected live, because that's what makes the conversation interesting, not just one side and their narrative and their propaganda. Like he'll sit down and debate anybody about any political topic, and I love that, man. He's been growing on me, because it's like I love that man. Like, not I love that man, but I love that man. Whatever, you know what I mean. Whatever. No Diddy.
It is no longer Republican versus Democrat. It's no longer the traditional dividing lines of a generation prior. You've seen tonight something remarkable. You saw two people who ran for president of the United States as a Democrat, endorse Donald Trump, and be here as our movement accepts them warmly. You see, they say Donald Trump is the best at deals the world has ever seen. And just look at this deal. We get Tulsi Gabbard and Bobby Kennedy, they get Liz Cheney. We get Elon Musk, they get Adam Kinzinger. You can have them. You can have the warmongers of a generation prior, while we diversify, deepen, and strengthen our movement to include people that otherwise would never have been part of the Republican Party. Who here is a former Democrat? Raise your hand. Look at that. And by the way, you are all welcome in our movement, because the Democrat Party left you a long time ago.
That's that dude right there. That's that dude. I kind of want to make this bigger a little bit. Slightly so you can see it better. Like that. How's that? Oh, some more Charlie Kirk. Let's get it.
Pfizer, that Bobby, right now, they are popping pills at Pfizer that Bobby Kennedy might run the FDA and the CDC, everybody. Right now, the warmongers in D.C. are shaking. They're trembling like a leaf that Tulsi Gabbard might go in and expose the fraud of us sending $200 billion to Ukraine while our border remains wide open.
I love Tulsi Gabbard too. Tulsi Gabbard reminds me of Rogue off X-Men with her little... Oh, man. She's dope, though. I really like her.
The government gangsters, as Kash Patel would put it, that have robbed us blind, they're starting to get really nervous, saying, is Elon Musk really going to come in and look at our budgets? Oh, you better believe Elon Musk is going to come in and look at your budgets. The Department of Government Efficiency czar.
That was good.
From Flowertown, Pennsylvania, registered Republican, says he's leaning toward voting for you, but is yet to make a final decision. Jackson.
Thank you, Anderson.
Hey, Jackson.
Thank you for taking the time to be here, too, Vice
You
President
too.
Harris.
Thank you.
Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with? And how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
Good question.
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time. And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters
Transnational
have.
organizations.
I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations in the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings.
Same shit, Kamala. Same. How I know what you was about to say. How I know what you was about to say, word for word. Same shit.
I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country.
You let 11 million plus people, probably more like 20 million people in. And you going to stand up here and sit.
And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem. You may know there were some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress working with
How would he fix the problem? He's not in power.
others. They came up with a border security bill.
1,500 agents.
1,500 more border agents at the border. Those border agents are overwhelmed. They need the support. They need the backup. It would have allowed us to have more resources to stem the flow of fentanyl. I don't need to tell this state and people around the country what is happening in terms of the scourge of fentanyl and how it is literally killing Americans. It would have put resources into stemming the flow. It would have given more resources to prosecute, to investigate and prosecute transnational criminal organizations. It would have done a lot of good. Donald Trump got wind of the bill and told them, don't put it forward. He killed the bill because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. We have to have a secure border and we have to have a comprehensive pathway for citizenship. And that includes requiring people, hardworking people, to earn citizenship and do it in a comprehensive, humane, and
She babbling. That boy Anderson Cooper can't wait to jump in and say something.
orderly manner.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you talk about the bill that Donald Trump quashed. That was in 2024. You talk about the bill he tried to get passed in 2021. That wasn't able to get passed. 2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as
There
of
you go,
today,
Anderson.
we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that
But hold
easy
on, let
with
me
that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately
He's doing this to her at her own propaganda town hall. He's saying this to her. Man, I commend him for that, actually.
this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action. Congress has the authority and the purse. I hate to use DC terms, but literally they write the checks. Part of the issue is in order to really fix the problem at the border. I was just at the border recently talking with border agents. You know what they talk about? Yes, they are overwhelmed. They're working around the clock. And the other thing that they talk to me about, we need more judges down there to deal with asylum claims. We need more personnel down there to deal with processing. But Anderson, and that's where Congress kicks in terms of dedicating the resources to actually fixing the problem. We have dealt with it such that, to your point, We now, as of today, as of our visit, have lower undocumented immigrants and illegal immigration than Trump when he left office.
That's true.
But we need a permanent solution, and that requires bipartisan work.
Do you wish you'd done those executive orders in 2022, 2023?
I think we did the right thing, but
You think you did the right thing on the border? You think you did the right thing by waiting and letting 15 million people in here? Mostly military-aged men, undocumented, no jobs. We seen the crime stats that come out. I wish I could pull that up right now. Actually, you know what? I can pull that up right now. Oh, there was one, man. It was like, oh, I want to see this. It was one. It was like 19,000 people who got convicted of murder or something. Really. It's funny you can't find it on Google right away. It should be right away. I was watching the Patrick Bet-David podcast, and he had the whole thing like laid out though. I can't find it right away. That's funny. It's not like readily available. That is actually, it's pretty goofy. Why wouldn't it be like? Why wouldn't it be like front and center? You know what I mean? Anyway. We'll go back to Kamala. My bad.
The best thing that can happen for the American people is that we have bipartisan work happening, and I pledge to you that I will work across the aisle to fix this long-standing problem. I think the American people are demanding it on both sides of the aisle, and it's time we actually put the partisan approach to this aside. We know what can work.
Well, let's talk about this compromise bill that you want to pass if you're elected. You said that's going to be a priority. It includes $650 million in funding for the border wall. That's something Republicans wanted. That was part of the compromise. Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project.
Look at her.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw was about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill.
He ain't playing with her.
To further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And
oh my God. This is craziness.
It is no.
Let's see what my boy does.
Now, as you know, the Democrat deep state always accuses you of what they themselves are doing or planning to do. Now, finally, RFK Jr. came out today, and it's gone viral, and pointed out what I've been harping on for a month that almost no one else is covering. Whoever's running the Harris-Biden administration, there was a coup, they removed Biden, it's totally illegal, signed an executive order over a month ago that then the DOD responded to and put out DOD Manual 5240.8 01, for the first time in history, preparing for civil unrest and shooting and killing demonstrators and how to take over society for civil unrest. They say that. That's martial law.
So that's context, right? Now listen to what he got to say on this. This is crazy.
In her post, in her speech.
Listen to this. This is
One other
crazy.
thing. President Harris said today in her post, in her speech, she said that President Trump was going to turn the U.S. military against the American public and use the public to promote his agenda. How many of you think that is true? Well, what's interesting to me is that the Biden-Harris administration has done something 2 weeks ago that has never been done in American history, which is to send exactly lethal force, to send a directive to the Pentagon, changing the law to make it legal for the U.S. military to use lethal force against American citizens on American soil. Technically, now it's legal for the U.S. military, under this directive, it will become legal for the U.S. military to shoot and kill Americans who engage in political protest because they disagree with policies in the White House. I'm not making this up. Any of you can look it up. This is a Democratic initiative. This did not come during the Trump administration. This did not come from Donald Trump. It came from the Democratic Party. And that's why I left the Democratic Party.
So, this is what I'm thinking about that, right? They did this 2 weeks ago, right? She does a press conference, I think today, talking about he wants to use the military, enemy within, all this, right? I think she's setting him up, just like Alex Jones said, setting him up to be killed or get his rallies just chaotic. Because now, if he wins legitimately, and there will be protests for sure, whether staged, FBI involved, however they do it, and there's protests, now the military can go and shoot people and say, Donald Trump told us to do it. It's law. I think she's playing the long game. She's hedging her bets if she loses by doing that, which is diabolical. That's diabolical. That's crazy, man. We live in a wild time. Like, really, though. Like, oh, man, that is... I'm just on Twitter right now looking for other things to... I just seen a crazy little story.
Dandruff on him, wandering onto Air Force One. They go, why'd you step down and drop out? And he goes, I didn't. Then he gets the memo, yeah, you did, you moron. Now, he stole the election, so it was stolen from him by the same group, but people can't deal with that. There's some plausible deniability. There's not with Kamala. She's been installed. People behind her are the coup. And the Dana White says, and they're going to continue it on. They have no intention of stopping. Of course they don't. Stop being naive, people. You're living in history right now.
I believe it.
Facing the reality that we live under a coup, like Dana White has done, and making it the number one issue that we live under a coup, will galvanize people to see what's happening when they try to trigger civil unrest and martial law and all the rest of the crap. You got to call the enemy's next big move out. They're trying to pre-program the coup. They're rolling it out in slow motion. Now it's speeding up. Now we're 12 days out. And they know they're way behind with election fraud. They need to keep sticking the ballots in the machines. The people are watching the flipping on the machines. And so now they're up to 13 days in Maricopa County. And now they're up to 5 days in Georgia. And 5 days in Michigan and Pennsylvania. And it'll be a week. It'll be 2 weeks. It's going down. NBC News. Maricopa County election officials say they expect to take 10 to 13 days to tabulate ballots in general election. But France can do it in one night.
Ooh. Ooh.
You fill it out, they stick it in the computer, they create whatever changes they want. They can do that. It's the election officials. And they block the windows out, kick everybody out at 1 a.m., get to work. Some systems, they got to program it in that it prints a ballot. And they got to get rid of your ballot, use your ID, enter it. They got to do it right there, point blank fraud. Or they stuff the drop boxes with the names of dead people and out of district. Or illegals get to vote, they're giving them driver's license, and they're just hitting us. But the landslide's so big, the Democrats are, screw it, we'll just have an armed rebellion. And they're a bunch of old, evil lawyers and people that just think they can get away with anything they want. So we'll go to break here in a few minutes.
Man.
I'm going to come back and go through all these clips I just mentioned, play the Dana White clip and more, but listen to me. Dana White, here's another headline. Put this out on X. UFC owner Dana White calls out the elephant in the room. Points out that we're already living under a coup. That Kamala Harris was installed by a criminal group hell-bent on stealing the 2024 election. Trump must make this a central issue so that people can galvanize and realize it's wrong and say no to it. You've got to get ahead of it. This is basic strategy, and I don't know why almost every time I am the only person that sees ahead of this. This is not even chess. This is checkers, people. These people can be beaten so easily. God. But again, you're being hit with such tyranny, though. People have a normalcy bias. They go, they just can't be. I'm not going to. That sounds crazy. That's happening. It's already going on. We can't sit here like a deer in the headlights. All right, I'm going to break. We can be shut down on November 13th. I need your support. We'll put the countdown on screen. Whether InfoWars shuts down or not, I need my sponsors energized so that myself and the crew and the operation and studios and all of it continues on. 20 days, 14 hours, 33 minutes, 27 seconds. Plus, we have incredible products you need. I need you to go.
That boy gets so many views. It's so crazy. Everyone be like, man, you listen to Alex Jones? He crazy. He said this and this. It's funny, though. He's crazy till he's not, though. Like, he does say some crazy shit from time to time. But just like Trump, it's not what he says, it's how he says it. And then Alex Jones has been right. I would say 95% of the time he says shit. 95 on any test is an A. And it's just like, you kind of got to read between the lines with the things he says. But like, Yeah, he's right. You got to pay attention. Wake up. Oh, they would never cheat in the elections. Oh. And then I'm wrong for challenging that because I think you would cheat. If you would lie about working at McDonald's, you would lie about being black, put on a Selena accent in front of Mexican people, dropping mon, hey mon in front of Jamaicans. Your running mate would lie about serving in the military. He would lie about being in Taiwan or China, wherever he was during the whole like if you would lie about these petty things, you don't think you would try to lie for the most powerful job in the world to be basically the leader of the world? You don't think you would try to lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, propagandize, try to kill? Like, you don't think you would smear, you would just completely just lie through your teeth about that? You don't think they would do that? Then you need to check yourself. Like, that's crazy. If you don't think so, if you don't think that's not even on the table as a possibility, and then people cop up, oh yeah, well the Republicans lie all the time. We're not talking about them. Stay focused on the point. They've lied about petty shit, and you don't think they would lie about big shit? You don't think they would stage town halls, stage interviews, stage this and this? You don't think they would do that? Come on, man. Come on, man. Like be for real. Come on, man. I want to go back to this, though. Real quick.
Themselves are doing or planning to do. Now, finally, RFK Jr. came out today, and it's gone viral, signed an executive order on how to take over society for civil unrest. They say that. That's martial law. And I've been screaming for 2 weeks since Harris and Biden and all their surrogates began to say Trump's going to call out the military and have martial law and kill Americans with no evidence. They say, oh, he says he can kill Americans. Never said that. They just make that up off a Supreme Court immunity ruling. It doesn't even say that. It's a total lie, a criminal lie. They're trying to get Trump killed. Now they say he loves Hitler, an old recycled lie. Now they say he didn't want to pay for a Hispanic veteran's funeral when he volunteered to pay for it, and that's all been debunked. This is crazy town. But the good news is RFK is very close to the president and is now talking to him about this. The president's about to be here with Rogan on Friday. I'm talking to Rogan about bringing this up. Rogan's aware of it. This is a big deal. This has never before been done. It says prepare for civil unrest and martial law and killing U.S. citizens. Now, I've been reporting on it for a month. Finally, Fox News reported on it last week. This is really going on. Every time I cover this, I see comments on X saying it's not true, even though I put links up to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a game. You can go to the Department of Defense's website and type in 5240.01. This is up there. There's news articles about this. So again, they're blaming Trump for what they're preparing. They've got their surrogates like Carville saying armed uprising against Trump supporters and Trump. Raskin, one of their top strategists, says they're not going to accept a Trump win and not certified and have civil war conditions. These are desperate totalitarians. This is so incredibly dangerous. And now documents have come out that Harris has a plan once in office to kill Musk's control of X and Twitter. I mean, this is crazy. They're the ones acting like Hitler. They're the ones persecuting their political enemies. They're the ones surveilling us and censoring us and doing all of this. I mean, these people are wild totalitarians. I can't believe anybody is supporting them. But the poll showed Trump's widening his lead, and so they're now saying the election won't be decided for weeks. Raskin's already scheduled an event for 2 weeks after about America in crisis and what do we do with the chaos. So this is all scripted out, but exposing it can stop them. We start with Kamala was installed. It's illegal. We start with she's illegitimate. We point out they're the ones preparing martial law. What are they planning to trigger? False flags? But thank God this is starting to become a giant issue. We need all Trump supporters, little, big, small, it doesn't matter. And we need his surrogates, J.D. Vance and RFK Jr., who's helping Trump get his cabinet ready to really drain the swamp. This is a real revolution against tyranny, folks. This is 1776 Part 2. It's happening now. So get this report out to everyone you know. Share this information because they know this is their weak spot, so they're blaming Trump and the American people for it. And they want us to just sleepwalk into whatever crises they're preparing to stage or gin up to blame us for. It's very easy to extrapolate out where this is going. They've already said they won't accept a Trump win. Please, President Trump, get ahead of this. They're blaming you for something they're setting up and doing. This will unify America. You're not attacking the military. The military doesn't want to do this. You say, hey, you're blaming me for martial law and plans to kill people with no evidence, and then you're the one signing orders to do it? Imagine if Trump did this. I wouldn't support him. This is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. This stuff used to be secret for a long time.
He said, imagine if Trump did this. I wouldn't support him.
Now they've gone operational. It's not on some drawing board. They're getting ready. They're implementing it. They've given themselves this unconstitutional power. What is it they're planning? We better war game this. We better have a big discussion. This needs to be front and center. Please follow me here on X at Real Alex Jones. Please follow us on the new system we're launching, the Alex Jones Network, at AJN Live. And please spread the word about the broadcast. You're already doing it. We're reaching tens of millions of people a day. But this is an information war, and you aren't just critical, you're everything. Thank you so much, and pray for President Trump's safety, and pray for peace in America and all of...
Man, that's so crazy. Like, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
That I've been covering for a month that finally got attention last week. The plan isn't just to kill Americans. It says for paramilitary takeover, martial law, civil unrest. Says civil unrest. Secretary of Defense. Then they say Trump's going to use the military and kill Americans in their homes. That's Kamala. 3 times that I've seen. Did it again yesterday. Trump has to come out.
There's 6.5 million people watching this live stream right now. How is he going out of business? Like, I know he owes a lot of money to this and that, but it's like, how is he really going out of business if he gets so many views a day? Like the clips, not including the clips and the short form and like just the little one-off videos he does every day. Like he gets probably 20 million views a day. Like it's how. He need to get on TikTok. I don't know if he signed an exclusive deal with them or something, but like he need to get on TikTok or something where he get paid for views. YouTube ain't fucking with him. Rumble, something, you know, like he gets so many views.
Here in a moment, but first is because I mentioned it. Here is Biden saying Trump wants to use the military and kill you again with no evidence. Just makes it up.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.